before, like, as soon as it happens.
All right, and we're live. So everybody quit talking about gross stuff. But thanks for coming on, guys. This is Cybercast Ep11, the Transformer podcast. So my name is Josh, also known as G1 Hexatron. If you haven't been by my channel before, and this is the first time you're ever seeing one of my videos, I basically do reviews on G1 Transformers, third-party masterpiece figures. Beast Saga, some other vintage stuff. There's a lot of vintage items from the 80s that I'd really like to start doing reviews on that I haven't yet. Like I've got, I believe, just about the complete collection of Air Raiders. I've got Starcom, Captain Power, Willow movie figures. If any of you guys know what that movie is, that's one of my favorite movies of all time, done by George Lucas. Then I also have Captain Power and Sectars, and things like that. So if you're interested in seeing any of that, just let me know, and I'll be happy to do it. But right now, I'm just kind of mainly focused on G1 Transformers right now. I'm just kind of on that kick right now. But if you want to find me guys on Twitter, my Twitter is the same, G1 Hexatron. And I guess before we get into the Prime episode and news and releases, and we have a Q&A section, a ton of things to cover in the show, so it's going to be a really good show. Plus, I believe TJ Duckett is probably going to join us. I'm not really sure. That's why the show kind of started a little bit later for you guys watching it live. But as far as Autobotamus, he's been coughing all week, so he wasn't going to be able to be on the show. If he was just going to be coughing the whole time. So I'm going to actually reschedule that some point later with him. I'm not really sure when it's going to be. But also another guy that I've contacted, and he is actually my favorite YouTube reviewer. He is from the UK. His name is MBNA100, or he calls himself Starscream. So I'm just going to have to set up a time that works with him because he falls, I believe it's 6 or 7 hours behind us. So we've got to kind of set up a time schedule whenever we can bring him on as well. So two really good guests coming soon. Just don't know when. But I want to hand things over to my co-hosts Charles and Dakota, and they'll get us kicked off with Transformer Prime episode.
Yeah, I'm Charles. You can find me on Twitter at Optimus4Prez, and Xbox Live is AutoCon365.
And I'm Dakota. You can find me on Xbox and Twitter and YouTube, all at Primal Sabbath. And guess we'll go into Transformers Prime, another relic hunt. There's going to be tons of pictures of people posing Wheeljack and RC in like very erotic poses, and that's about it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Thought it was very boring. Again, just another relic hunt. Although the very end with Predaking typed on that control panel outside the ship was a little interesting. I'd like to see where that's going to lead to.
I think that he's like looking up like, how do I transform? Because
That would be nice.
I want to see this guy transformed into his robot mode. I mean, you got the the toy, or I don't, but people that collect Transformer Prime figures out there, he's a transformer because he can transform. He's not exactly like an action master, where he only has like one mode. So that'd be something cool to see for next episode. Big surprise because the Decepticons have a lot of Predacons, plus including their Beast Hunter modes. Big surprise that they're able to get the bone instead of the Autobots. Also, I thought the June and Fowler thing, where like Fowler's all like hitting on Jack's mom, like the whole episode. I was just like, it's kind of weird, but it's whatever. I mean, there's always been some type of like romance, I guess you could say. Like you had, Spike and Carly, back in the day. So, and they had little Daniel. So during the movie. During that span between season 2 and the movie. So I guess there was a little bit of romance there, obviously. But, I really don't have a whole lot to say about it. It was just kind of a blah episode.
It certainly felt like filler. I mean, yeah, it was another, like, a relic hunt thing, but it's not like they focused too terribly much on hunting the relic. And it's, like I said, Wheeljack put on his little pink tutu and had girl time with RC. And that was weird. I figured he was going, like, solo and lone gun slinging dude, but
it's like almost a whole episode's missing in between this one and the last one, because like Wheeljack, he took off and then all of a sudden he like came back and he's with them and he's now with RC or what?
They explained it at the beginning. He I think it was Ratchet or Raph or whoever said there was a request for a ground bridge from Scotland, and Wheeljack just kind of came in and they're like, well, what are you doing here? He's like, I didn't really want to ride with Ultra Magnus, because of their little beef last episode. But still, I mean, I don't know. I really hope, like, dude, we're already halfway through the season, which is kind of sad to say. Like, enough with this bullcrap,
You realize Optimus Prime's really only been highlighted with the 3rd episode, and that's it.
Well,
the first 2 episodes, he was, like, damaged and sitting in a cave. The other episodes, he's been sending off other Autobots to...
And see... Yeah, I think it's because he was highlighted in the 4th and 5th episode, I believe.
Okay, that's the ones. Okay.
Yeah, and episode 5 it's him and Smokescreen, and I think that's it. It was just them two. They were going to do something. Anyways, and Bumblebee as well. But it seems I can't remember. It was in season 2 whenever they the deal with sending them all 3 at the same time to go get the 3 Icon relics or whatever. It seems like that. Like it's all kind of all happening at the same time.
Okay.
That's what it's. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like. Because Optimus hasn't come back to base yet, and it just maybe next episode. Which, granted, next episode is going to be
garbage.
Yeah, probably.
That's with that truck he has.
Yeah, but next episode is supposed to be some kind of zombie episode with like Dark Energon or whatever. So we'll see. That looks like it's going to be filler, but whatever.
All right. Well, don't want to spend too much time on Prime episode because last week it sounded like, or it seemed like we talked about that thing for like 20 minutes, which is way longer than it deserves. But Charles, you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. As far as actual news, this isn't any type of figure, so I don't have to do any type of screen share here. But Takara Tomy says that the Encore Fort Max sold better than expected and to expect more from the Encore line soon. I think we all kind of expected this. I mean, we've been seeing Encore figures. Now, these things have been dragging out. So, to me, as far as Encore figures that I want to see, just come out with all the Victory Line stuff because I do not feel like paying $500 plus per figure. It's just ridiculous money. So by the time they get through this Encore line stuff, I mean, I'll have like grandchildren that are 80 that are like finally getting the last Encore figure because I mean they're just taking like so long to come out with them. So I wish they would speed that up. I would like to see one every like couple months or 3 months, kind of like the way I recommended with the Masterpiece line.
Yeah.
The other thing is, Takara Tomy also said expect a big announcement at the Tokyo Toy Show from Takara Tomy, which I said before. I'm thinking the big announcement, because it's in Tokyo, Japan, that it's got to be about this Encore line because they released that first statement, that expect more Encore or figures, and then they said we have a big announcement. I've got to think that they're going to confirm the rumor of Victory Saber. So I'll kind of pause there and let you guys,
it could
say your sense on that.
Yeah, I actually was speculating that maybe it's the next Masterpiece as well. I mean, they could do both, but if I had to guess, it would be. We'll get to see the next Masterpiece along with whatever else they have to show for Encore.
Well, I do have something for the Masterpiece, but I think this is leaning more towards the Encore. Charles, do you think it's going to be Victory Saber or?
I would like to see them come out with Victory Saber as well. Finally, there's something from a different Transformer line, that we would like to see.
And we didn't have the advantage of picking it up in stores. Not that my parents would have bought that for me. It would have been like, oh no, you can have like these 10 GI Joe figures, or you can have like this one big robot. And the way my mind thought when I was a kid, I was just like, well, 10 versus 1, so
yeah.
They could come out of left field and do something crazy and awesome like Leo Kaiser. That would be that'd be like my little dream. But
Dude,
I really
if they announce that, like seriously, you guys will like not hear from me for like 10 days because I'm just gonna be like partying it up. So
yeah.
that'd be really nice. The other thing, like you kind of hinted on, a masterpiece announcements. Smokescreen will more than likely be revealed at this year's Tokyo Toy Show, so that's going to be June 15th and 16th. So about those dates, be looking for images. Also, I believe that's on the weekend. So if they show pictures of those things on the 15th on that Saturday during the day, we will have pictures on that episode of the Cybercast as well. So we can actually show those off, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison and show you the difference between Blue Streak and Prowl and Smokescreen.
Yeah.
The other thing is, Takara Tomy says they are working on getting new car license from car manufacturers. And me personally, I got to think that this next one's got to be Porsche. It's got to be Porsche because here's what the license does. Now with Lamborghini, they have that license right now. Who else can they do right now? You can do Sunstreaker.
Yeah.
Which I know that everyone would jump on that. Right now, if they came out with a Sunstreaker, I would put my money on it that would probably be the best-selling masterpiece figure thus far. Especially for the price that is coming out with that $79 range, and it's Sunstreaker. A lot of people don't have that because, like I believe Dakota, like you said before, is they don't have the mold for it anymore. So
Yep.
you're not going to see really any reissues on that unless they like recast an original figure, which they should just jump on and do that.
Yes.
So I think that the Sunstreaker is going to be a great figure for Lamborghini. Also with Lamborghini, and this is why I think they would come out with Porsche, you could also do Breakdown from the Stunticons.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you get the Porsche, you could do Jazz, which we know is a lot of people's fan favorite. Struggling to kind of remember.
Wasn't
the other
Cliffjumper a Porsche?
No, he was kind of.
I totally forget, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Well, see, this whole time I'm thinking about that episode they uploaded, and I'm like, well, it focused a lot on Mirage and Cliffjumper, so
If they get the Porsche, then they could also do Dead End from the Stunticons as well. Okay, so with the Lamborghini and Porsche license, you can do Breakdown and Dead End. So there's two. As you've already showed us with the Optimus Prime, it doesn't have to be a brand name. It just needs to be some type of semi-truck. So there's Motormaster. There's 3 out of 5. Then with a Formula car, you don't really need a license with that because we don't need a brand name attached to it because it wasn't any type of particular Formula racing car. It's a Formula racing car. And that it had 6 wheels, so nobody makes that. So then you have that. The only thing left to get would be a Ferrari license later,
which I wouldn't think would be too terribly hard, but
if you've got Lamborghini and Porsche, that's going to follow. Yeah. And what I'm basically getting at is if they get Porsche and they already have Lamborghini, they can knock out the other 2 Motormaster and the Formula car. I see no reason why if we do get a Masterpiece Combiner, Minosaur is our first one.
Yeah,
I see no reason why it wouldn't be, unless they did like Superion because they could just do jets.
Something I would like to touch on with that is and I lost it. It just kind of like went. Okay, I got it.
Off of it,
okay, with Lamborghini. If I'm not mistaken, the same company that owns Lamborghini owns Volkswagen and Audi. If I'm not, I could, I'm pretty sure Lamborghini and Volkswagen are tied together. But we could get an actual good-looking Bumblebee. With the exception of that Generation's 30th, but a great Masterpiece Bumblebee could.
Ferrari and Maserati are tied in together.
Yeah.
And then what is it? It's Audi and Volkswagen that are tied together.
Yeah, and see, I thought Lamborghini was somewhere with them, but I guess not.
Yeah, all I know about is Ferrari and Maserati are tied together. So, Charles, do you have anything to say, or what do you think about that news so far?
Yeah, I would like, like you were saying, I would love to see, Masterpiece Jazz, and if they did come out with the Suncrons, maybe have make them in a way to where they can combine and have finally a Masterpiece combiner. I mean, who wouldn't want to jump on that?
Um,
Go ahead.
Okay, just Googled it. Lamborghini is a part of Volkswagen Group through its subsidiary Audi. So those three are all tied together as well.
So see what that license kind of does for you. I wonder if they could just capture the one license that gives them access to all three,
I would
or
think
if they have to go out and get each individual one. But that would be a great one. They already have that. If they got the Porsche, I'm just kind of thinking, because a lot of people they want a Masterpiece combiner. That's one of the reasons why third-party companies are selling things so well, is because the chances of us getting these figures anytime soon by Takara Hasbro are pretty slim.
Yeah.
Just like if they came out with a Masterpiece Galvatron, dude, I'm all on it. Unless it's a Bayformer, then I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
They'll just repaint the inevitable leader class Galvatron figure that comes out for the Transformers 4 line.
I'm surprised they haven't just been lazy and make a repaint some type of Dark of the Moon or whatever those episodes are called of Megatron, and just paint them like a purple thing and say it's Galvatron. Because they have done lazy crap like that before.
Yeah, they did it with the Revenge of the Fallen Starscream, that big Starscream. They did it with him, and I think they did it with Bumblebee. Like, apparently those were masterpieces, and
I hate Bayformers. I hate Bayformers. So, which we do have some Michael Bay news towards the end. But the other thing that I wanted to mention, just kind of like a quick mention, McDonald's Transformer Prime toys are going to be in Happy Meals again, starting at June 21st. So if you guys like those things, there you go. But now we do have some things that I can actually share with you guys on screen. So if you're tired of looking at us, then let's go ahead and pull this up. So this came in yesterday. We have the TFC Uranus add-on set. And is this coming out by TFC?
Yeah.
It is. This is really sad that you haven't even released all 5 of your figures, and you just know that it's not that good that you have to add an upgrade set for it. Yeah. Like, why didn't you come out with this originally? Because I might have actually held on to this figure, but I already sold Blackbird, which is basically Silverbolt, and I sold Phantom over here. I still have Eagle, so I'm just might as well sell him, and these two I canceled my pre-order for. But
I know
the big thing is the faceplate, because I thought his face when he's in Superion Motor Uranus, whatever you want to call him, I thought it looked so stupid, his little stupid grin. But with his faceplate, I think it looks so much better.
Yeah. They did the same thing with Hercules, man. I think Hercules had already been fully released before they came out with that upgrade. But I mean, you could tell they're just trying to fatten those pockets up.
Pretty much.
And they came out with little guns as well for each individual figure.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is you charged $130 to give us this not very good Blackbird figure, which basically Silverbolt, and then you gave us that Phantom Ray chest thing that nobody liked. Why didn't you just come out with this chest originally? We didn't need that extra little mini robot. Why didn't you just give us this chest originally? And obviously we were going to want a G1 accurate looking gun. I mean,
apparently all of those pieces,
all the stuff you come with. Here's all the stuff it comes with.
Yeah, all those pieces can combine together, if I'm not mistaken, to form like a little jet.
Here it is. But I mean, who cares about that? It doesn't.
Yeah.
I basically wanted to just show all the little pieces and the missiles, a little faceplate, and waist section, chest piece, and stuff like that. So here's all the other guns for each individual figure. All right, it's just frustrating that if you've already vested the $550, whatever, into this set, now you've got to go out and spend even more money.
Yeah.
When these things should have came with the initial purchase anyway.
Yep. Man, I'm just hoping Make Toys decides they want to have their whack at the aerial bots. I mean, I bought Hercules. I'm happy with Hercules, but I still just think their Superion would be a little bit too tall for my taste, and I'm just kind of done with their aesthetic. I've got their aesthetic. I want something else.
Yeah. It's very disappointing because Superion was always one of my favorite combiners, and just to see him do it like that, it's just it's wrong. So
yeah.
Another company do it. Show how it's done.
I'm kind of hoping that what is it? Make Toys comes out with one,
and
that's what I was kind of banking on.
What's sad, man, is you could go buy the Revenge of the Fallen Target Superion, which sucks on its own, and then go and backtrack the Fans Project upgrade set for that, and you'd still be coming out like $200 to $300 less than going the TFC route. And that the Revenge of the Fallen Superion with the Fans Project set looks miles and miles better than that thing does. And I mean, man, I'm really hoping Make Toys tackles it. They're kind of my new like favorite, with the exception of Mech Ideas, of course.
Obviously. All right, so the other thing that we have, the SXS-R01 Gears. So this is this SXS third-party company's first figure that they're coming out with, and I believe this is like $69 or something like that. So it's a bit expensive, but this is the first time that we've actually seen the color images of it. Another podcast we took a look at the, like I believe was the prototype of it, but I guess it doesn't look too bad. I just don't understand why, for being a new third-party company, why would you come out with Gears as your first figure? It's not like people were demanding a Gears.
Yeah.
That, and I mean, honestly, I see a Gears in the Hasbro 30th anniversary line. I just feel it, you know. I mean, they're coming out with Trailbreaker. I'm pretty sure Gears will be soon to follow. And Hoist. And,
just looking at this, it doesn't feel like it's a damn near $70 toy to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay that much for it.
I mean, it kind of looks cool, but I guess I'm just not a huge fan of Gears. Now it is tall, for what it is.
Yeah. That don't interest me at all.
Yeah, it's just there's not a whole lot of demand for Gears, and I can see why.
That big of a character, so why would they even bother trying to come out with him?
Well, he's popular in just one episode, mainly.
Yeah.
Whenever Megatron had to capture him to do something, and he was like all kind of like zombified. He was like really happy. Like you ask him to do something. Hey, do you mind doing this? Hey, man, I have no problem. I love to help out my friends. Everybody's like, what? Crazy Transformer? What the hell's wrong with you? But moving right along, we have. This is really the only image that we have of these guys right now. But this is the Transformer Go line from Japan. As soon as I saw this, I looked at it, and looking at the chest, how it has the lion and like the mane flaring out here, also with the crown right around here, and these like knees that kind of look like maybe it just looked like Gal Gaigar to me.
Yeah,
and that's the first thing that popped in my head, because where he has the drill cones, this guy has kind of like these little red things right here, and the line mane,
and that may be what they're trying to go for, like an homage with because these are the Decepticon ninja bots to kind of fight the Autobot versions basically, and they all combine. So, yeah,
their individual modes, if you guys can see them, they don't look too good.
Yeah, they're not.
They look like Brave figures, articulated Brave figures of what they seriously look like.
Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping some way, shape, form, or fashion the Collectors Club or Hasbro can even get these over here. I'd prefer the Autobot ones more, but man, I wouldn't mind getting those either. You know.
All right, Charles, you have anything to add? I just noticed this whole time that didn't have the full screen locked in on these. So
No, I don't have anything else to add with that.
okay. Then we have kind of our first colored images of the Mastermind Creation reformatted Razor Claw. I forget what they're calling him, like some Feral Con something other. But we all know this to be Razor Claw. So this is basically what he's going to look at. And man, his lion, if you can kind of see it here in the background, that mane and the teeth. Oh man, I can't wait to get my hands on this.
They know how to do it, man.
Yeah.
This looks awesome. Now, unfortunately, I did pull up a Unique Toys one to do a side-by-side, but I do have an announcement for them. They have a figure as well. But what do you think about this? Looks good? You like it?
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to change? I think they could have probably done a better pose with the robot over here. Because first thing I looked at, I was like, is he like standing on his tiptoes or what's he doing there? But
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. But
Man, that's
I
gonna
guess
be
he's like walking.
it's gonna be so immaculate once it's all together. I mean, man, I really can't commend them enough on how awesome they're doing with this.
yeah.
Looks really good. I love this thing. It looks. The only thing that I think that I would change is it looks like his guns are a little bit flat or narrow. They're kind of, instead of being rounded, they're a little flat. I would have liked them a little bit more round. But I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs now. You know.
Yeah. It's almost like kind of like nitpicky, but other than that, I mean, yeah, I awesome job with the fit they do. They should go to that other company and say, look, here's how you do the Predacons. Not
They're not going to do that. They want them to fail.
Yeah. Like, hey guys, you sit over here and take a few notes. You're still not gonna get it right.
Yeah.
And these are still coming out. The pre-orders haven't gone up on this yet, but I really hope that they continue doing that thing where they're basically like the first week or two of the pre-order going up, there's actually a $20 discount is what they've been doing with the past couple ones.
Yeah.
So I hope they continue on with that because I want to get all my figures cheap.
Dude, you ain't lying.
Now, just like we've done in the past two podcasts, we also have a Unique Toys one. Now, it's not the Razor Claw. It's actually the Tantrum, which is basically the bison or the bull, whichever you want to call it. But look at the details into this, even though it's a different figure. And here we go, Unique Toys. What y'all guys think?
Jeez, I'm hoping that's just a prototype. Like, man, if that's final, God, I feel
I think
so
it has
bad.
some stickers. Too.
I feel so freaking bad for people who dedicated to that.
We have like clowned on this. What do you call it? One time, third world party
Looks more like a McDonald's Happy Meals toy.
It really does. It's sad.
It's ridiculous.
What?
You'd think they would know how to do it right.
What's the name of that company?
Unique Toys. This is their very first thing, and I think it's crazy that their very first attempt to get out there, get their name out there, that they do a combiner, and they also do a combiner where they are going up against Mastermind's Creation that already has some kind of established history of coming out with good figures.
That's a really unique piece of shit.
To say the least.
Man, I'm glad. Like, I'm so happy I didn't even go anywhere near that.
Yeah.
Gross.
This is like, seriously?
Well, I have another thing to announce as far as Particons go. And it was just announced today, or maybe just maybe like 5 hours or 6 hours before we started this podcast. And to be honest, I was a little ticked off because another company has thrown their hat into the ring and said, we are also coming out with Predacons or Predaking, and that is TFC Toys. And I'm like, does no one have the balls to do a Leo Kaiser?
Or, I mean, any, like, Abominus?
Abominus, well, actually, I want to see Mastermind's Creation do Abominus, because I think that they're doing such a good job with these beasts looking with the Predacons.
They can do
I like the aesthetic, and I want to see that implemented into the Terracons as well.
I think TFC Toys could pull off a really good Raiden, though. That kind of fits their aesthetic. But, dude, this, like, who's going to buy this?
Yeah.
I mean, I would also like to see Make Toys do Defensor, because they do really good with that blocky aesthetic, like with Green Giant.
Aren't they doing Defensor?
No, they're doing a Computron.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's right. My bad. But, yeah.
Which I'm surprised we still haven't seen any images of those start coming out.
But, man, like, this is a dumb... Like, I mean, I guess TFC's trying to get all the, like, pre-orders for people who are dropping their Unique Toys versions.
I don't... To me, honestly, I don't even like TFC Toys anymore.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of Hercules. I know a lot of people like that. I love the Green Giant, you know, like a ton better. You know, that's just my personal opinion. So if you like Hercules and you're typing in the comments right now, Hercules is so much better. You know what? That is your opinion. This is mine. But I wasn't a fan of Superion. Like I said, I collected the first 3 figures and decided to cancel the other pre-orders, and I'm starting to sell those off, and I only have 1 left to sell. Yeah. And I have no interest in getting this. Like, if this had come out first and then Mastermind's Creation version, like, here's their Razor Claw, and, you know, here's this one. I totally like this one a lot better. Now, I will give you guys some more images of this. It looks better than the Unique Toys version.
Oh, yeah.
I just know they're going to give Predaking some stupid-looking face.
And then they're going to come out with a freaking $60 upgrade with a different head.
Now, this is what I was talking about. I do like these guns rounded, though.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad-looking figure.
I'd really like to see what it looks like, you know, in its combined mode for me to really, make a call.
And see, these ears kind of throw me off because of the fact that on the Uranus or Superion one, it was those little translucent yellow pieces of plastic that you just kind of pulled up, and I thought it looked silly.
Yeah.
But there's basically the torso for Predaking there. Again, it doesn't look too bad. It's better than Unique Toys, but, I mean, I could probably make something in the garage that would be on par with that.
I could take some Play-Doh and do better than Unique Toys.
But this is... I'm just mad that they had the opportunity to do a new combiner. Like you said, Raiden would have been awesome to do. Yeah. Or basically, if you guys don't know who Raiden is, it's basically the train bots, and they were featured in the Japanese Headmasters.
It seems like all these third-party companies are kind of dancing around each other.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to go for the Stunticons next? Like,
it's kind of like a... Do you remember or elementary or like maybe junior high? I don't want to say junior high because most people like the balls drop by then and they're like, all right, I'm going to go hit on these girls. But like elementary, like school dances or something like that, where you had like all the girls like on like one side of the room and all the boys on the other side of the room, and like everybody wanted to go ask like a girl to dance, but they all waited for like that one dude to see what he was gonna do and see if he was gonna like dance with her or get turned down. And like he was successful, then like everyone else kind of like followed suit. But they all waited for like that one dude. It's kind of like that. Like everyone's kind of waiting around to see what everyone else does, and they don't want to act too quick. And they do what you want to do, and know that you're going to be successful at it. That's all I gotta say.
If you release good quality products, then you're gonna have a fan base. You're gonna have, there's gonna be people.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But Charles, did you have anything to add, or did you already say something about it? Or
Yeah, like I said, that first one you showed was the best one of the three, and just I don't know why like all three of these companies are trying to all do Predaking. I mean, why not do different different combiners? Try different things, not just try
what's
to
the first?
who can do the best version of the same thing. It's like,
Yeah, like I said, I'm happy that Devastator we had two different forms, but because they're both good on for different people's like make Green Giant's better for me, Hercules is better for Dakota.
Yeah,
So
because
we're both happy.
it catered to two different styles. One was more IDW related, one was more like G1.
But we didn't need a fans project making here's our version of Devastator. It's like, dude, we don't even care anymore. We've already committed to one or the other by now.
yeah.
One. So, we'll move off that subject. But I just thought that was crazy. I'll quit talking about it. But basically, what is it? I have no idea how to pronounce
Fantasy
what these
Club?
things are. No. These Kabaya?
Kabaya? Kaya.
Man, I have no idea.
Kabaya?
So if I'm totally butchering that, then I apologize. But you guys know what I'm talking about. The candy toys, which the whole time, every time I saw candy toys, and I noticed that these guys had came out with a victory saber and a few other things, and I didn't buy them because I thought the things were made out of candy.
Could you imagine eating victory saber? That would break your freaking heart.
Dude, they've already came out with that, and I didn't buy it because they're really cheap. You can get this set of 3 for like $15-16. So I believe you can put up pre-orders right now at Robot Kingdom and TF Source, I believe. And I didn't get the Victory Saber ones because I saw candy toys and I seriously thought that they were made out of candy. So I didn't buy them. So I was that's just gonna be gross, sitting on my shelf, and it's gonna get all sticky and stuff. Because I live in Texas and it gets all hot as hell down here, so it's gonna be melting on my on my shelves and damaging all my figures. But apparently, these are just kind of like a cheaper plastic or whatever. They're just kind of like a little random toy or whatever. And they come with a stick of gum or a piece of candy or something like that. So that's why they're given the name. I wish there was a little bit more explanation for people like me that didn't totally understand.
Yeah. I still don't totally understand.
The other thing, though, is they were talking about is it in this news thing right here? They're talking about releasing the other figures, so the other 4 aerial bots, the Stunnicons and Combaticons as well, so that these guys might be able to combine. And you also see for Bruticus here, you also see his chest shield, same thing, waist piece and chest for Motormaster and Superion as well. And they don't look too bad. This Motormaster, that truck looks nice, and the robot form isn't too far off being better than the Fans Project one. I'm honest. So, but you guys like them for $15, and I have never tried to buy them before.
I think they're like little mini figures. They're mini figures though.
Okay. Yeah. I might for $15 jump on it, and I'll say, you know what? I'll try these out. If I like them, then I'll end up getting the rest of them. But
now, if they're candy, then you just spent $5 per piece of candy, and I'm gonna laugh at you.
I'm gonna eat the shit out of it too.
I'm gonna enjoy it.
All right, well, that was pretty much all I had. Charles, why don't you cover your news first, and then Dakota can go.
Alrighty, let's see. Get this screen share to work properly this time.
All right, bathroom
break.
operator,
man. Operator.
All right, let's see if we can. The Transformers Prime Beast Hunters figures. They just come out with some more you know, almost like the same figures but just different colors of each one.
And this is a part of the Rising line.
Yeah, the Predacon's Rising.
I
Let's
hope
look
they're
at
like
some
a
of the other figures.
big bad toy store exclusive, so I don't have to see them in retail.
Golly, Charles, call your internet provider.
TJ.
I don't know who that's supposed to be.
It's probably going to be Magnus, like just
Dude,
a.
that's
It
Optimus,
looks
the dump truck. Look
it
at
looks very Magnus dump truck though. Look at that. See, it looks like a Magnus head, not an Optimus head. Know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
not really. I mean,
TJ
it
Mike got eaten by his dog.
You guys completely forgot that one. All right, Charles, your internet is going very slow, bro.
yeah, I see it. I guess this is supposed to be almost not kind of looks like Predaking here, but it don't interest me.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm
it just
going
looks like the
to
same damn Predaking.
here.
Yeah,
You continue talking about them, and I'm going to.
TJ asked, he said he needed to go get a webcam and how long we'll be on. I said, well, by the way, Charles's internet is taking probably a while.
Well, Charles. I'm speed running through these pictures here. So if you want to continue talking about them, but there's Predaking.
here's another Shockwave. I like the figure, but I never was too crazy about the tank mode.
There's smoke screens.
All right, so everyone's screen sharing. I feel very lonely.
Oh, is Charles still screen sharing? I was just going through it because I don't know, it was taking a little too long.
It's his is actually not doing too long now. It's like it's loading pretty quick.
Bumblebee, Skylinks.
I don't know, man. I'm just not really digging these repaints. Like, are they going to be some
Yeah.
kind of store exclusive, or are they going to? Like, what are they going to
They're
do?
going to be a Target store exclusive,
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken.
thank goodness I'm not. Which I don't really shop retail anyway, so I don't know why I'm really making a fuss about it. I just, man, we've got enough Beast Hunter stuff on shelves.
Yeah,
I mean, Wave
Yeah.
2 was good for me. Like, I bought all of most of Wave 1. I bought all of Wave 2. I think I'm done. I think that's about it for me for Beast Hunters.
All right, Charles, why don't you show us the last thing, the Ultra Magnus?
all right. Got some new in-hand images of the new upcoming Platinum Edition Ultra Magnus, and like looking a lot better than the last one, and especially this more accurate to the cartoon figure. Hammer's better color, and not just all silver like the last one.
Real quick, the image is kind of coming off a little bit purple, but on the screen share, but it is actually that blue that he is. But the Beast Hunters Ultra Magnus looks very show accurate as well. It doesn't look like the Prime Ultra Magnus, the Robots in Disguise Ultra Magnus. I mean, but I mean it does look cool. But I think it's in terms of price, because it is still kind of a crappy mold. I think I'm gonna go for the Voyager.
It's good for people that collect the Prime line.
Yeah.
If you don't already, then you're not going to get into it now.
Or if you're a Magnus fan, I mean you could pick that up too. But
Or yeah, someone that just collects Ultra Magnus.
yeah, I mean I bought the Robots in Disguise version, figuring that's what we would get in the show, and now I'm stuck with freaking RID Magnus that nobody wants to buy until the freaking Beast Hunters version comes out. And I'll just grab it.
All right, Dakota, you had some news as well.
Yeah. Real quick before I start the screen share, we talked about Mach 5's first release. It was a third-party impactor. They released a price. They talked about a price on their Facebook. They were saying they were shooting for a $45 price range. Then Big Bad Toy Store put pre-orders up for $60.
A
Then a lot
piece?
of, yeah, a piece. Yeah. And then people started, including myself, started bitching too much. And Big Bad Toy Store dropped it down to 50. TF Source put them up for like 48, 49, and Captured Prey owner Sidecutter Orson, however you know him, he announced on the thread that he was going to be able to get them for $46 a piece. So it was
That's
definitely
probably
able
going to be the
to come
rock
back.
bottom on them then.
Yeah, and I can, you know what? I can pay 45, $46 for just for that Iron Fist. That's because that's all I want. I don't really care about the
What's the other one?
crankcase.
Crankshaft or something?
Yeah, some kind of little Decepticon dude. Not
Yeah,
a wrecker, so I didn't care.
I'm just now like reading TJ's comments over here.
Yeah.
Totally forgot that my mic got eaten through by my dog. Oh, so
Yeah,
he's
well,
going to go pick up a webcam.
yeah, from Walmart. I guess.
Hopefully a microphone.
Yeah. First bit of news from Keith's Fantasy Club. KFC. Look, it even looks like the KFC logo. That's so funny. That's so awesome. Okay, I just noticed
I'm
that.
sure that
Whatever.
was intended as
Oh
well.
yeah, it was definitely intentional. SmackDown and Blackhawk, and that's going to be Squawk Box and who was the other one? Can't
It's
think of his name.
Squawk Talk and Beast Box are
Yeah,
the original G1s, and they've made the G1 color scheme of those figures, and they, I believe, are being released now. But they're that about $21, $23 a piece figure price range. This is going to be their, I guess, dark or evil version, like they've been coming out with all of them. They made
yeah.
like some dark or translucent version or something like that. So
But the cool part about this is this guy. Both of them can combine. So, and it doesn't look too terribly bad. Or is that the combine mode? No, I don't think that's the combine.
no,
Is it?
that is the combine mode.
Okay,
I
okay,
used
okay,
to have
yeah,
this
yeah,
guy whenever I was a kid, and I always thought that it was fun to play with. But to be honest, the arms are a little bit better than the G1, but the legs are pretty much exactly like they were in G1. So I mean, there's really not a whole lot of more added articulation
yeah,
uh, versus the G1, to be quite honest. But the
yeah.
G1 is so freaking expensive now. Like I look back at all these toys that I had back when I was a kid. I was like, man, if I would have only known that that thing was going to be worth so much money.
Yeah, you can kind of see some like side, pictures here on the side of the back of the boxes rather. But I
You can
mean,
tell they're small. I mean, they're for the
oh
cassette.
yeah, but it's still pretty cool for people because the cassettes are it's like a really niche group. People love those cassettes. And oh, it's a convention exclusive. Imagine that. Hands of Steel Summer 2013 convention exclusives.
Of course they would be.
So yeah. So get your bank loans ready, everybody.
I would rather have the G1 color scheme ones though versus just an all black version.
Yeah,
Because they have that like a aqua teal for Squawk Talk, and then like the like deep looking or I guess kind of a purple, but it's kind of bright looking for Beast Box, and so they kind of pop. Like you could put them on your shelf with numerous other figures, and they kind of like stand out because of their color scheme. So I kind of like that, and I was actually thinking about getting the G1 color scheme figures since they are priced pretty good.
yeah. But I mean, for the people that are like into the black repaints and that's all they buy is black repaints, I feel for you guys, really. But
And
that's it.
just in case Charles is watching, I am not kicking you, dude. So
Oh,
that
he's gone?
yeah, he dropped out twice, and that's because I've got to assume it's because he had those 2 extra pages up when he was trying to screen share that stuff, and his internet just went
Uh,
on overload. Like it was too much for it to handle. at one time, so it ended up kicking them off.
Did you send him an invite?
Yeah, I will. But go ahead and continue with the other stuff.
Okay. Anyways, that's it for those. And they also kind of teased this, just a bunch of little cassettes or like cassette cases is what they more or less look like. You can see right here it says Tyrannosaurus Rex, Stegosaurus, Triceratops, Pteranodon, and Brachia, or whatever. The other one. But apparently they're coming out with Dinobots. But my question is, are they going to be Dinobots that turn into tapes, or like full-size transforming, Dinobots?
I'm sure, just by looking at it, that they are going to be tapes that transform into probably like the T-Rex mode. They're not going to be robot modes.
The actual dinosaurs.
Yeah, so just because that's kind of the theme that they've gone with already. So I think that they'll probably stay consistent with that. I mean, they're not doing a too bad of a job. Some of the things that they've come out with, and we've taken a look at those on previous podcast, and they're priced decent as well. So
yeah, definitely. So there's that. For those Dinobot fans, that's going to be awesome. But for folks like me, I'll pass. It depends.
I mean, you're going to be looking, if you want all five, and if you collect the Dinobots, you more than likely will want all five, unless your only memory of them is from the 86 animated movie, then you only need 4. But at $23 a piece, I mean, you're going to be looking at that $120 range, and for tape, that's a little too much for me. Yeah. If I'm spending that, I'm getting authentic G1 tapes, or cassettes, whatever you want to call them.
I would if I had to get one, I'd be real typical and get Grimlock, but that's really all I have to say for that.
All right, what else you got?
Okay, we have images for the Transformazing Pandora's Box combiner or trailer set for Fall of Cybertron Ultra Magnus, and just a couple of close-ups of this $130 freaking thing.
Well, yeah, $130 at Robot Kingdom, I think 80 at Big Bad Toy Store.
Now, Orson, the guy that owns Captured Prey, he also said, because someone had asked him, about working on getting the price down for this thing, and he said he had contacted them, and he's waiting to see how much he can get them for. So potentially, we may have a stateside retail that can sell it for just as cheap as Robot Kingdom, if not cheaper. And overall, it would be cheaper, with shipping and everything. So
yeah, shipping's gonna run you probably around $20.
Yeah,
from Robot Kingdom, but it still ends up being cheaper than Big Bad Toy Store. So
yeah,
you really don't complain about it.
So there's that, kind of like the head and everything. And what I think is really cool, it comes with a roller. I think that's awesome. They were able to work a little roller guy in there. Do I think it's $130 awesome? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But
you can post his gun on there.
Yeah, and I think this is just him with all of his other stuff tucked under. You can put the gun on it like that as well. But let me try to get through all these pictures of Roller, because it's way too many pictures of Roller. And you can see the back of the trailer opens up, and that's where he stores. And I think that's awesome too. That it's not like Fans Project's Protector, where it was just kind of pegged on underneath. But get to some size comparison so we can about see how big it is. For those of you who have or have owned the Fall of Cybertron Bruticus, he stands about waist level. So
it's just a little bit taller than a Voyager.
Yeah, and that to me that just does not warrant 150 shipped to 200 shipped.
Yeah.
Go to the picture with the Voyager. With the other pictures.
All right.
Oh, the thumbnail.
One with Grimlock. And
I guess
Grimlock's a pretty big
little better
Voyager.
idea here.
Yeah, Grimlock is a very decent sized Voyager, so yeah, a little bit bigger than a Voyager, but man, it to me it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, for people that they just love add-on kits, maybe this is for them. But
I am one of those people, and even then, like it's not for me. I mean, I don't know. Well,
go to this next picture. Click on that next one. This one looks cool.
yeah, looks like a little base thing, which is awesome. But
See,
not,
to me, when I was a kid, that's what was awesome about the original Prime trailer. It had some play factor in there. Same thing with Power Master, Optimus Prime, or which American people you guys know it as Power Master Optimus Prime. Genrai is what I call him because that's his name. That's why he was fun because he could also set up into a base as well. This kind of has that little feature to it,
yeah, and obviously the base is like a completely separate portion, but still, I don't know, man. I just can't justify, still can't justify $150 to $200 ship for this thing.
Me neither. I mean, it looks cool and everything, but that was just way too much money.
All right, what else you got, man?
All right. Oh, this is my favorite part of the show. Because for those of you who may not know, I ordered the subscription service, and I need something to kind of keep my hopes up with that. Well,
This figure's coming out with this year's subscription service.
yeah, it'll ship at some point this year.
What do you want to bet that this thing comes out? You get this thing in hand before you even get your.
Oh, I know
figure.
I'm getting this in hand before I get the freaking Scourge figure. But now I own the original Make Toys Battle Tanker. It is a fantastic upgrade kit. It was like $110 shipped, something like that, and I fell in love with it. I almost bought the Battle Tanker sets for the Shattered Glass Prime and Magnus from this year's BotCon, but they were exclusive to an online store overseas, and I didn't really justify paying the money for it. But with that being said, we knew how many of the Primes and the Magnuses were made. We don't know how many of these Scourges are made, so the likelihood of it being exclusive to a certain retail is slim, and I really hope it isn't, but regardless, I'm getting it. It comes with this freaking cape, all these chains, these little skull things, and the head, which I'm not really going to do the head swap because I'm real particular about my exclusives, but the head is supposed to be more of like a Nova Prime head from the comics, and he really does look a lot like Nova Prime in this get-up, and I think it's freaking beautiful.
Charles, you have anything? I don't have a whole lot to say. It's just kind of a teaser image. I have no idea what the figures are going to look like because I don't own it. But
I don't have anything to add.
Yeah, something I do kind of hope for, because the original Robots in Disguise from 2000, that Scourge had a completely chromed trailer. I'm really hoping they chrome this trailer. If they chrome it, it's bought hands down immediately. So, okay, that's it for awesome news. If we want to get into the nitty gritty, we can now.
I honestly didn't even want to talk about this stuff, but there might be like one person in the world that wants to hear about it.
Yep, time to listen to me bitch and moan. Transformers 4 news. We got some images of these newer images of the vehicle modes for the Autobots. Obviously, Optimus Prime got a facelift, and to me, I think it looks a little bit better than the previous movies. I like the way these smokestacks kind of angle out. That looks decent. But
when I saw this, the first thought that went in my head is like any chance of us seeing a Rodimus Prime in this movie just went out the window.
yeah,
Because they're not going to, hey, this is our new looking Optimus Prime, and he's now upgraded or whatever you want to say, and go through the different transformation sequence or He's gonna obviously look a little bit different in robot form.
Yeah. They're not going to spend
they're
all
not
that
gonna put all
money.
that time and money into that, and then also now we get a Rodimus Prime.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought when I saw this, because we've heard that we're getting a Galvatron, and I don't see how you couldn't give us a Galvatron, because who are you going to have to be the leader?
Yeah.
And if you have Galvatron, you want to see Rodimus Prime, because those two kind of go up against each other until
Now supposedly 4 is supposed to from what I understood, from what I read, and I don't know how true it is, 4 is going to be a little bit shorter than the other 3 movies have been.
Yeah.
And it's going to lead straight into 5. There's not going to be any 2 years have passed, 4 years have passed. It's going to go straight into the 5th movie. So, I mean, chances are Optimus could die at the end of this movie, and maybe Hot Rod is announced or something. I don't know. But we just got to wait and see.
Who the hell is Hot Rod going to be? That weird looking flat nose truck? It looks like some I don't know, just like someone parked their broke down semi behind their photo or something like that.
Oh,
a rusted version of the G1 Optimus.
I'm getting to that. Trust me. So, anyone, you guys have anything that you want to say about this one?
No.
Okay. I don't even like talking about this stuff.
Bumblebee has a new look. Now, I'm glad they ditched that new Camaro for this American Steel Muscle 67, 68 Camaro. This makes me a little bit more happy about Bumblebee's character, because he's actually a muscle car now, a decent looking muscle car, not that new crappy Camaro.
Also, I was seeing people that online, they were like, "Yay, a vintage Bumblebee!" And I'm like, "Wait a second, this is a vintage car. This is not the vintage Bumblebee, because he's a Volkswagen Bug."
A lot of people are wondering.
But Volkswagen, they came out and said that we don't want our brand to be associated with violence. Yeah, is what they came out and said in the original one. So that's why we didn't get it.
And what I'm curious about though is in the first movie, Bumblebee started out as a mid-'70s Camaro, and then he upgraded to the new one, obviously because General Motors paid off Michael Bay, or vice versa. And now he's going back, further than what his original Camaro was. And I'm really wondering if they'll even explain that. And honestly, I don't care. As long as he's this better Camaro, that's all I care about.
It's Michael Bay film, so if there's not an explanation, I'm not going to be the least bit surprised. Yeah. To where people are like, so how does he get this new body? And then Michael Bay is like, you know what, just add 2 more explosions and people will forget about it. Because that's the way Michael Bay handles things in the Transformer movies.
Yeah. I mean, as a gearhead and as a huge Camaro lover, that's all I've owned, my entire 4 years of driving is Camaros. So I like it. I like this a lot better than the new one. So.
All right, what else you got?
This is a fairly small picture. I really can't blow it up anymore, but this is apparently Hound confirmed. So roll with that. I would have preferred a Jeep, personally, a military Jeep.
Well, I mean, why can't you get Jeep on board? I don't understand.
They had them on board for Dark of the Moon. There was actually a red Jeep with an Autobot badge, but it never got used. It was supposed to be like Roll Bar or some character like that. But
why is this Hound? Why couldn't they use Jeep? Again, it's Michael Bay. Here's what Michael Bay does. I'm going to tell everyone. Is he already has pre-selected Transformers that are vehicles that he wants to use. He's like, I want to use a semi-truck. I want to use this strange-looking thing, whatever the hell it is. This old Camaro, the Bugatti, and all those other things. And he says, someone tapped him on the shoulder and they're like, hey, Michael Bay, you want to attract a lot of the G1 fans because those are some of the hardcore fans. Okay, so here's what I want you to do, my assistant. Go write down some G1 character names, put them in a hat, and I'll just pick out of the hat and we'll just assign them. Which I'm kind of getting ahead of you, I guess you could say. But yeah, basically with the aerial bot thing.
Yeah, we'll be able to
That's
get on
basically
that.
the point I'm making. And like several people were like, I don't know why people think this is a big deal. You know, it's they can do what they want. I'm like, because
It is a deal.
it is because if someone's an aerial bot, and I've just kind of skipped right over him. Go ahead and go to the aerial bot so people know.
Okay.
What I'm
Well,
talking
I was going to the rusty truck next. So,
about.
anyways, that's Hound. Whatever. It's Michael Bay. This is that rusted truck that people were wondering about, and I'm gonna exit off this image real quick and read this. Uh, Second image is a never before seen new look at an actually old rusty truck resembling G1 Prime. The photo uploader is mentioning that the rusty truck is a Dinobot, and it shows in uh, italics one of the new Transformers from yesterday movie shoot Dinobots. Who are you? Basically, so it's rumored that this is a Dinobot, possibly Grimlock, which is stupid, freaking stupid.
Not just stupid, but if it's true, then Bay should be banned from doing anything Transformers related ever again. I'm sorry, but that is there's no way in the world that's going to be Grimlock.
Now if he's Grimlock for like 2 seconds while he figures out, hey, I want to be a dinosaur, I'm kind of okay with that. But I mean, if that's Grimlock for the rest of the movie, I'm done. I'm absolutely done.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go see the movie.
I'm gonna walk out of the movie if that's Grimlock.
I'm waiting till people come back and tell me that Galvatron was awesome in the movie. The story was really good. The Dinobots were actually dinosaurs.
yeah.
I mean, it sounds, then I'm like, you know what, I will go. But if this is any of the Dinobots, the whole entire movie, again, it goes back to Michael Bay just picking G1 character names out of a hat and saying, you know what, you're going to be assigned to whatever the hell this car is and blah, blah, blah.
It's like he's saying we're getting Dinobots, but we're actually not really getting Dinobots.
Yeah.
But there's that, and this is probably the most infuriating piece of news to me. And I want to touch on this before we go into the aerial bot, if you don't mind, Josh.
Yeah, go ahead.
This blue and black, which for those of you who may put the two and two together, fast-ass $2 million car should be Blur, correct? Wouldn't you think? It's blue and black, shares the same kind of, it's fast, and it's
like a two. I think it's like $2.25 million car.
$2.5 million. It's
they're very, very limited. It's a Bugatti.
It's one of the fastest one of the fastest
something like that.
It's a Veyron, Bugatti Veyron,
okay.
And it's one of the fastest cars. Like as soon as it hits a certain speed, the panels start folding in on it. Like it's a fast freaking car straight from the manufacturer. So common sense says, hey, that's Blur because it's blue and black and it's fast.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Blur. It's freaking Drift. Are you kidding me? I'm so livid at this. Like I can't even. I'm seeing red spots right now. Because for those of you who also don't know, Drift is one of my favorite characters from the comics. He's a white tuner car with like red stuff everywhere, and he's a swordsman. This screams Blur, not Drift. That's freaking stupid dumb. Anybody got anything they want to add to that?
No, I thought it was going to be Blur as well.
I
as
did
soon as
too.
I took the picture of it.
I would have loved for that to be Blur. I mean, I'd buy the figure if
because
that was
Blur's supposed to be the fastest Autobot. He's basically the messenger. Whenever they had to get messages across the other side of Cybertron, they just send Blur because they got there really quick. If you're going to make this Drift, and this is like one of the fastest cars out there,
it's not
if
even.
you came out with a Blur, you got to get an even faster car. So I mean, what are you going to do?
They can get the Aero TT. I can't remember what company makes it, but it's a little bit faster than the Veyron, but it's also a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, but the thing is, Blur is supposed to be so much faster than everyone else.
Yeah.
Like miles apart faster, not just a little bit.
So, I know, and that's what's stupid. I mean, this should have been Blur. Hands down should have been Blur.
Yeah.
let's
Man,
go. Let's go to the
yeah,
next one then.
I'm gonna start cussing before too long. And this is Josh. You want to go ahead and take this away?
I forgot who they said it was going to be. Is it Slingshot, Air
Slingshot.
Raid, or who is it?
Slingshot.
Slingshot, which is an aerial bot. He's a jet. So I went kind of back and forth with Paul on this. He was just like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, I don't see how it's not a big deal. It's an aerial bot. He's a jet, not a car. Because in my opinion, that's if you would have had Megatron and if they would have made a submarine and said that this is Megatron, everyone would be just livid about that.
Yeah.
Or he said we have Optimus Prime, and I was saying it as an example, but like a couple people were like, that'd actually be kind of cool. A motorcycle, like if you had a motorcycle said that this is Optimus Prime. I know that me personally and G1 fans, and that's who I'm speaking for here, because I'm a G1 enthusiast. All of these stuff past G1, I really could care less about. I know that other people like it. If you do, that's fine. I'm not dogging on it at all, but I'm saying my passion is G1. So when I see an Optimus Prime, I expect him to be a flat nose, semi-truck. Megatron, I see him to be, a Walter P-38. This, if it's supposed to be an aerial bot with that name, and this is a Corvette. Again, it goes back to Michael Bay saying, I want a Corvette, the new Corvette, to be in my movie because Chevrolet has paid me to put their vehicle in my movie. What do you want to name them?
I mean,
let's see. Let me get into that hat again. We're going to name him Slingshot because that's the name that I drew out of the hat.
I'm still hoping Sideswipe comes back because I did like Sideswipe as the Corvette Centennial. But, I mean, this being an aerial bot, okay, he has a spoiler, so does that count as a jet? Hell no.
I just don't see. There's so many other cars in, for the Autobots. Why couldn't you have just picked a different name, one that actually kind of related to him as far as G1 goes?
I would have if they would have came and told me that this was Sunstreaker, I'd probably be okay with that because it's a different styled Corvette. Sure, it's not yellow, but
yellow. If they would have painted him yellow and just said that we'll name the Sunstreaker, I'll buy into that.
Yeah, but I mean, Sideswipe wasn't red, and I can accept a silver Sideswipe, then I can accept a green Sunstreaker, and I would have been fine with that. I would have been totally cool with that, but I
don't know. More examples. It's like you had that what they call him, Wheelie or whatever. That little annoying like small robot that like is humping Megan Fox's leg or whatever.
Oh, okay.
They would have named that like Triptychon. I mean, would no one care? I would.
It would have been funnier because Triptychon was like humping that chick's leg. But
yeah, I'm done talking about Transformer 4. If you guys are,
I'm finished with it. Like I was. Oh man, that thing with the freaking Bugatti, like that really got to me. Really irked me.
All right. The other things that I wanted to bring up, delays. So if you have on pre-order or you've been looking for the Mastermind Creation Hexatron, it has been delayed again. So we were originally going to get it back in April. Then it got delayed till the end of May. It has been delayed again until late June/July. So they're giving us some time. Now, their reasoning behind it is they wanted to make sure that they put the absolute best product out and they didn't ship something to us that might have needed a few tweaks. To be quite honest, I'm totally fine with that. I don't want something, especially as much as it's going to be, to where it's going to be like that Generations Blitzwing, to where I actually have to, do like little rigs and fixes and do all kinds of stuff like that. When you buy something, a masterpiece or a third-party product, you want it to be final product, and you don't have to do anything but take it out of the box, put it on your shelf, and it is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So, what's up?
I was agreeing. Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, what was it? $110?
G1 Hexatron, I believe. What am I saying? G1 Hexatron. I'm so used to saying that. Hexatron is going to be, I believe, $129.
That's still not bad.
Or $119. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Give or take $10. Now, this figure, Hexatron, was supposed to come out before the Mastermind Creation Predacons, and the Predacons were release date just said second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we are now in the third month of the second quarter, and since Predacons were supposed to come after Hexatron, and now it's getting pushed back until late June, July, I can only assume that the Predacons are going to be pushed back as well.
And you saying that, you know, the RC that we touched on several weeks ago, I'm really curious about that too. Haven't really heard much about that one.
I mean, we haven't heard anything else about that. The custom fan figure or whatever, we haven't heard any more news about that either. I mean, there's several other things that we need some updates for, but they really just haven't given us any.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically what I have as far as delays. I didn't really catch any others. Did you guys know of any?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, no, I didn't. Whoops. Thought I did, but
It's raining outside.
I
All
wish.
right, so now we're going to get to the Q&A section, or basically topics and stuff like that. So for you guys that send in your questions, let them down in the comments. I definitely appreciate it. You know, if you guys have, doesn't really, like I said before, it doesn't have to be a question, but if it is some type of topics, things that you want to hear us talk about, you know, just leave it there, and you know, if it's relevant, then you know, we'll talk about it. But the first question, and he's got a few here, comes from the Duke 013, and he asks, have you ever purchased a figure just to resell it, and what was it? Now he also puts in there, he goes, I know scalpers are the scum of the earth, but you know, have you ever done it?
No.
Why not, Charles? Why not?
I buy a figure, you know, if I like the character or whatever, and it's one that I want to, you know, put in my collection. But as far as buying it and then turn around and reselling it, that's not me.
Okay.
I've actually, back whenever animated Rodimus came out, it was I'd just gotten into collecting, and you know, Hot Rod was one of my favorite kind of G1 characters that I discovered, and I was like, wow, I want to get everything Hot Rod that I can. I saw that animated Rodimus coming out, and it was a Toys R Us exclusive, and you know, I saw there were in other state sighting forums, people were buying them up and, you know, selling them on eBay for like 35, 40, 50 bucks a piece, and when it's a $15 deluxe. And I was like, man, that's really kind of irks me. And I'd gotten in touch with a couple of people on TFW and various other, you know, forms of like social media, and I'd actually gone out, man. I scoured my Toys R Us every single day, every single truck day until they got that case. They got 2 cases in, and it was full of the animated Ironhide and Rodimus. And you know, a lot of people wanted the Ironhide because it was short packed, and I bought both of those cases and sold everything at retail price, and just kept one of the Rodimuses for myself. And that's I mean, in terms of reselling, I don't ever mark up the price, because I mean, we're all just people trying to reach a common goal.
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of the same thing on that. Is I've never excuse me, I've never gone out and bought something with the intentions of just to resell it and hike up the price or to scalp. Like even some of the figures that I am selling now, like you know, the Photron, I'm going to be selling that for less than what I paid for it. And you know, the Eagle, the TFC Eagle and stuff like that, you know, I'm going to put a price of $90 on it, where it was $98 when they initially sold it, plus shipping. I'm going to do it $90 free shipping. Now he's selling for even more of that because he's got that price hike. So if someone has, you know, wants to buy one, they'll probably just pick mine because it's going to be the cheapest one, and it's been transformed like twice. So
yeah.
The other thing, now I do have things that as soon as I got them out of the package, I was like, I wish I didn't have these. And that was, I got to be honest, the NECA Predators. Not that I don't like them, but I don't need 12 of them.
Yeah.
You know, they're all pretty much the same thing, and some of them don't really come with a whole lot of accessories. There's like 2 that I like, and the rest of them I felt like, I'd like to sell them off.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all I had for that. Anyone else? Anything?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. So the Duke013, he says, thoughts on Xbox wanting more control of the resale of their games, or any general Xbox info. I don't know a whole lot about the Xbox. I just know that it's not going to be backwards compatible, to where you're not going to be able to use or play 360 games on it or Xbox games on it.
That's stupid.
And then also, you're going to have to buy the game new. So if you go to GameStop and buy something used, or like me, I use GameFly right now. Just because these games that I only want to play the story, like Tomb Raider, I thought was like a game of the year type of game. I thought that game was awesome, but I only played the story. So like one weekend, I sat down and I just played the thing all the way through, and I was done. I sent it back. So I only had it for like 4 days, and there was no reason for me to buy a $60 game if I'm only going to spend a weekend playing it, and that's it. I have no reason to play it again. I did the same thing with BioShock and God of War. What they're going to do is, if it's used or it's not bought from them, they're going to have like one of those things where you have to like enter a code. If you don't have that, then you're going to have to pay like a fee or something like that.
Yeah, to actually be able to play the game. I just think the whole Xbox One and everything about it is just a terrible business decision for Microsoft. I think that's a terrible move on their part.
Well, they make most of their money off of their accessories and games.
Yeah.
Like the way it's always been is the initial like system, they take a loss on. Like they literally like put it out for whatever X amount of dollars, like 300, 400, whatever they sell for, and then it actually costs them like $600 or $700 to make, something like that. The whole part where they make money is selling you those games at like extremely marked up price, and the $40-$50 controllers, headsets, and that's another thing is these headsets. So these $150, $60 headset that I have from Turtle Beach, not going to work on it. You're going to have to go out and buy something specific for it.
So
the headset you got on right now, that's your computer headset now, because you can't use it with the new Xbox.
I'm not going to get the new Xbox until a new Halo game comes out anyway, so...
Yeah, I forget what else they were saying. They're like, their whole thing to try to like market it, they were like, look how Call of Duty looks on it. I'm like, Call of Duty has looked the same since Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's just more and more annoying kids that play it now.
Yeah.
So, I think I had Black Ops 2 for like 3 weeks, and then I like traded it in. Ended up buying Fall of Cybertron again, and some other games. But I think I'm probably done with the Call of Duty franchise, because I didn't like the last 2 games. I hated Black Ops 2.
I was done.
I might give the new one a shot, but I'm gonna rent it. I'm not gonna buy it.
I was done with Call of Duty after 4. I mean, 4 was where it was awesome for me. The story for Modern Warfare 2 and 3, I did like the story, but as far as online play go, 4 was and still is and will always be the best Call of Duty online.
World at War was fun. I like that.
Never played that one.
It was a lot of fun. The thing is, there's just so many freaking hackers. Like 2 years after the game's been out, there's just nothing but hackers.
Yeah.
And they don't care about upkeeping their games either. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I know. There's now the processor and stuff like that. They basically want the Xbox to be like, right now, if you kind of go into your main, I guess, living room is where I have mine. Your main cable box where you got your DVR and all that stuff. They want to make the, what's it called, Xbox One? I don't even know what the name is. Okay, Xbox One. They want it to be your receiver and entertainment center for everything. So you can already do Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff on there. but they want you to be able to get your cable service through there. It's your DVR. It's all this stuff.
I think I can actually get my cable service through. I've got Xfinity, and I think there's an Xfinity app for the Xbox.
Yeah. But they want it to be that. They want it to be basically like your computer, your social media thing. We could do our Google Hangouts over it, but it's 2013. I was about to say, who doesn't have a computer? That I was like, oh, Jay. So that's why he's not on the podcast with us. But, I mean, seriously, most people have some way to get on the internet at this point. I know people always call my work, and they're like, I don't have the internet. I'm like, do you know what year it is?
Get with the times.
Yeah.
But do you guys have any info on that or anything to discuss on it?
No, I'm just going to stick with my 360.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sticking. I always stick with whenever they release a new console, I usually stick with the one that I have for now for at least a year. I want to see at least a couple of price drops, and usually you don't see that first one until about a year into it. Also, why buy it if there's not going to be like a ton of games offered for it? Like you're only going to have like a few starter games, just like they did with the 360, and there's really no reason to buy until you have several things that you can actually buy. Plus, if your thing is online play, so let's say like the Call of Duty Ghost is the new one that's going to be with that.
Apparently, you only have to connect once every like 24 hours or something like that. I don't know what
my thing is, if online play is your thing, why would you buy Xbox One on its first year anyway? Because you're not really going to have a whole lot of people to play against, because not a whole lot of people are going to be buying it, and it's going to be probably limited like it's always been. Because there's going to be scalpers on that too. I remember PS3 when it first came out. I had an employee that came up to me because her mom had scalped them. Like, hey, I'll sell you a PS3 if you want it for like $1,200. I was like, I will fire you right now. So get out of here with that $1,200 for a PS3. Tell your mom she's nuts. I'm not paying that. But if your online plays your thing, you're probably going to want to stay with your 360 or PS3 for at least another year while these new consoles come out. Also, let's see. The Duke 013 asks, do you think they could retool G1 figures to give them better posability? And if you could pick one to retool, who would it be? Now, I'd actually like to go first on this. Mm-hmm. I personally think that is what the Masterpiece line is for.
Yeah.
Because now I know the direction you're going in, Duke, that you want to take. Where is it? We'll just move him to the side. Side swipe. You take him and hey, maybe make it to where his waist, these legs come apart, and the arms are a little bit better, and maybe the head rotates. I get what you're saying there. Make the actual G1 toy articulated, but you got to think. To get that toy, you're going to pay $40, $50, $60, depending on what type of condition you like it in. You might be able to find it cheaper, but I think $40 is about average, the cheapest you're going to find it, even though I picked mine up for like, in box for like $23 or something like that. But it was very uncommon. It's going to cost money for that. So let's say $30 to get the parts made, to give them those articulated features and the engineering that you would have to apply to it yourself is going to be far more expensive total cost than the $79 you're going to spend on a Masterpiece figure.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at the add-on heads that they have for that Fall of Cybertron Grimlock. How much did you pay for that head?
Well, mine was a custom head. It wasn't a third-party head.
How much you pay for it?
I think it was like $20 shipped.
Okay, still $20 right there for just a head.
Yeah.
So you take the original G1 figure and plus the $20 head. I mean, you're already almost at that Masterpiece price range. So that's maybe what I personally think about 16.
That. Regardless, yeah, I get what you're saying. I got to go back and watch the video because I forgot how much I paid for it.
But I'll kind of leave it open to you guys. What do you think? I think it would be a cool idea, but
As far as far as like Hasbro or Takara or maybe a third party company or a knockoff company doing it, I think they would be wasting their money. I think they'd just be throwing their money away to take that G1 figure and then work around it and do that. And that kind of work is best left to a customizer, and that's really the only people who are gonna actually kind of touch that. And if I had to choose one Generation 1 figure that I would want, articulated legs and knees and arms and everything else, it'd probably have to be the G1 Hot Rod, because the car is so spot on and perfect. If it just had better articulation, I'd be all over it.
Yeah. I mean, like you were saying, Josh, I mean, to me, the Masterpiece figures are, they're like the G1 character, G1 figures, but just with more articulation and posability and everything. So, that's what I would have to go with, is the Masterpiece.
And I also think, like, someone like me that's a G1 enthusiast, I wouldn't want to run my G1s anyway.
Exactly.
Because you're going to have to apply those pieces to make them articulate. Like, even if I did that, then I'd want to go buy the figure again just so I can have one in stock mode.
Yeah.
The way that it's supposed to come. But if I had to pick one to make it articulated, I'm just going to kind of look in here behind me. I was going to say Blitzwing. You know what? I wouldn't mind someone adding, or a part. Give Blitzwing some, like, legit feet.
Yeah.
So if they, like, gave me just the bottom sections of, I'll grab them right here. You just gave me these purple bottom sections right here for Blitzwing, and you made still everything the same, but here for the feet, you made like a little section to where you could actually flip it out, and he actually has a foot instead of these little chrome wings here, or his actual feet. That would be something that I would add on. Or Astro Train, like they had in the original prototype pictures, where it showed that his arm actually extends at the elbow and just doesn't sit there with like these like arms like that.
T-Rex arms.
Little T-Rex arms. Those would be something that I would add on. So as far as that goes, yes, I would definitely pick up some kind of piece like that for him.
Yeah.
All right, so
No,
all right, yeah, here we go. So, anyways, guys, sorry about that if you were watching that live. This is basically, I guess, going to be part 2. I'm going to try to put the 2 videos together, so for the people that watch it on YouTube, they can, I don't know, just don't have to click on multiple links or whatever. If not, then I'll just kind of trim them down and kind of make them fit the way that they're supposed to. But basically, we were in the middle of answering a question, and my internet disconnected and then reconnected for some reason, and we had to start all over. So basically, the question from the Duke013 asked, how do you guys feel about knockoff parts to fix an original? And if you sold it, do you need to disclose that it's an original with knockoff parts? So it's like deja vu. You two guys have already answered this question, but I don't think it caught in the recording. So go ahead, Charles. You go again.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of knockoffs, and if I did sell it with G1s, yeah, I would definitely put it in the descriptions. And most of this is original, but there are a few knockoffs. But.
Yeah, and me, where my collecting habits lie is with Beast Wars and classics. So the few G1 toys that I have are just of favorite characters. And Josh, you can go ahead, and I know you want to say it.
No, I'm not even going to say it now. I say things on spur of the moment.
No.
I don't plan anything out.
It was cute. You can say it again.
No,
okay.
It's not even funny. So.
Okay, yeah, it's done. Okay. Anyways, so Beast Wars and classics, and those kind of figures are more my thing. The G1 figures that I do have of the characters I do like, there's still a couple that I don't have. But if it ever came down to okay, I can get a couple, I can get maybe the figure itself all original, but it doesn't have any accessories, but I can go the knockoff route to get the accessories. Yeah, I'm gonna get the knockoff. I'm gonna go that route to get those knockoff accessories, because that's not where my nostalgia lays. My nostalgia is more or less with Beast Wars, but my interest is with Beast Wars and classics type stuff. And and if I were to sell it, definitely I would say, look, here's what is original and here's what is knockoff. But that's just me.
Okay. For me, whenever you say like when we're talking about knockoffs, and if you use parts to fix an original, authentic, like G1, I'm just gonna talk G1 here because that's what I know. Like let's say for Shockwave, if you took a knockoff, maybe light that is inside his hand that makes the light. I mean, that's a light. It can go to anything. If it went out, you would go to a store and buy a replacement and put it in there. So to be honest, then that's a knockoff, or all you did was change the light or a screw or something like that. I mean, it's not like all the little bitty screws say like Hasbro's Kara on them, so you can use those things. Now, the other point that I want to make is you don't even need to buy knockoff parts to fix something. And I'm not talking about accessories here. I'm talking about like a lot of times if you go on eBay right now and you type in Shockwave and just go sort by cheapest, the ones that are going to show up in the the cheapest column are going to be like parts, like just an arm or just a head. So it's going to be pieces, and these are from Authentics most of the time, not all the time. So you just kind of have to keep your eye out on it or see what they say in the description. But you can buy those just as cheap as you could buy a knockoff figure so that you could use its parts. So why wouldn't you just buy a junk lot? Plus, it's going to be, you can buy, a lot of people, they just buy a bunch of junk lots and just keep on collecting them until they're like, hey, I can finally put G1 tracks together.
Yeah.
Because I got all these junk lots for like dirt cheap because nobody wanted them. And I'm sorry, it's hard to concentrate. It sounds like my neighbor is like hanging pictures on the wall for like the past 2 hours. And like all I hear is this, like someone's at my door. It's annoying. And I know they didn't just move in because they've been there as long as I have. So, but that's pretty much all I had on that. As far as accessories, I mean, how do we know that we're not really buying a knockoff accessory anyway?
There's ways to tell in the molding. It's it's one of those things you really got to research. And typically, if it's too good to be true,
good condition, if it's an accessory that's in really good condition, and I mean, no one even puts whenever they sell a weapon that this is authentic G1, blah blah blah's weapon. It's just there's companies they really don't go out there and be like, hey, we're just gonna make knockoff weapons.
Yeah, well, there's some that do.
I'm sure. But anyone have anything else for that?
No.
That's pretty much it for that. And yes, disclose. If you did, let's say, have a G1 Shockwave, but the battery cover is part of a knockoff, the person buying it, if it looks exactly like the same and the plastic quality is really good, they probably aren't going to give a shit regardless. But just let them know. Because if they find out, then not only are they going to send it back, you have to refund and then refund shipping, so you lost money there. You're also going to get a bad rating as well.
Depending on how you handle it. I mean, there's some times when it's like, okay, you can tell them that you didn't know if you genuinely didn't know, and as long as you refund them.
I approach, and his description changed to where it was like mint and sealed box, reissue, Shockwave, blah 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 blah, big capital letters, and then like all lowercase. He goes, "This is not a Hasbro product." And then he goes, "This is such an awesome figure," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, because I made him put that in there, and that's where he put it in there. I was like, yeah, that's still shady, but whatever. He does let you know. So like I said, read the descriptions. Now the last thing, and I guess it's kind of a topic more than it is or I guess it's a question. I had Optimus Barrett Prime ask, how do you build your collection, or how did you build your collection, and did you buy one particular line and go from there, or you bought whatever and just scrambled it up, or did you start with a leader class and go down to mini bots? Basically, I guess he was just kind of giving examples. But Dakota, you want to tackle this first because I think you had an answer for it. You said you wanted something you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, in terms of like where to kind of start collecting and how, if that's is that really pretty much the question here?
I guess
It's kind of all over the place, so that's why I'm asking.
Well, I think he's asking, how did you build your collection or start it? I think is what he's asking.
The way I started it, man, it's kind of like a journey, like long sort of story. Grew up with Beast Wars, got a little bit older, got out of toys and stuff like that. Got a little bit older, started making my own money. Then I went and saw Revenge of the Fallen, and before I was really as much of a fan as I am now. I was like, well, that movie wasn't really as great as I thought it was, but I thought Sideswipe was awesome. I really liked Sideswipe's one scene in that movie. And I went to go look up some stuff on YouTube, and I found a video of someone transforming this freaking Sideswipe toy, and I was like, they still make these? And from there, I went to Walmart, and I got Sideswipe, Bumblebee, Optimus, Jetfire, and Starscream from Revenge of the Fallen. I bought 2 deluxes, 2 liters, and a Voyager just to kind of see what flavor everything was, and obviously I got to see the expense behind it as well. And from there I started doing some research, like, okay, what all have they done since I put down Robots in Disguise back in 2001, 2002, and then I saw classics and all these characters and IDW comics, and then that led to BotCon and so on and so forth. And then I found, what pleased me the most, and movie toys wasn't it. That's what got it started, but that wasn't it. I started buying classic styled figures, and that was, really kind of going for me. And I was like, well, there's, I don't really care too much for these leader size figures, regardless of what, toy line they're for. I was like, I think I'm going to stick more with the Deluxe and the Voyagers because the robots look a lot better as Deluxe and Voyager. So I'm not really going to get a leader class figure unless the character is huge to represent. And from there it just went, okay, classics, Beast Wars, BotCon. And I collected the Prime line. I think I'm done collecting the Prime line. I missed out on animated, so and I really don't care too much for those aesthetics, just a few of the figures. So essentially just find what your favorite aesthetic is and then go from there. You're going to have to backpedal a lot, but just, deal with it.
Charles, what about you, man?
Right now, my collection is mostly like the original 3 Seekers, Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. And I've also got, a lot of a few of the G1 figures, a ton of different versions of Optimus Prime, everything from the Masterpiece to the Transformers Cybertron line. Just certain characters, I collect versions of them that I like, and just kind of like put them together.
So you're more character specific whenever you collect.
Somewhat, yeah. Okay.
And that's what I wanted to. Yeah, thanks for reminding me about.
No,
that.
You had your turn. You're done.
But I'm really the same way. I've got like quite a few just character specific shelves, and it's one of those things. I'm a little all over the place with it, but I really need to tone that crap down.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else, Charles?
Yeah, just want to add a little thing. Just after I finally got my Masterpiece Red Alert, I think I'm just from now on just going to stick mostly with the Masterpiece line because I just with the ones that I have, I'm always been blown away by the aesthetics and the posability of them, just the way they look and everything. Just they're more accurate to their G1 cells, and just from now on, just mostly going to stick with Masterpiece.
Masterpiece is the way to go for hardcore G1 fans, man.
Man, I don't see where you can go wrong.
You can't.
with Masterpiece. Even if you weren't a fan of G1 or weren't in that, grew up in that era when that was popular when you were a child, still you can't look at the Masterpiece figures and not see like an awesome Transformer.
The engineering is unmatched.
Yes.
Anything. I mean, it's...
I'm just talking about MPO8 and to current,
Yeah.
because I think MPO8 is when they said this is the scale that we want to stay in, and this is where we've had our little trial run, with all the previous ones. We're doing everything the right way.
And everything is
MPO8 now,
gorgeous from MPO8 until now.
which was Grimlock for people that don't know. So
Grimlock, Rodimus Prime, Optimus, etc. Basically.
the Seekers, the MP11 Seekers, and then you have the Soundwave, the Red Alert, the Sideswipe, and now you have the Dots and Molds. So,
and hopefully we can add Mirage to that. Really looking forward to that Mirage.
Right, it is
Tall Optimus. Masterpiece Optimus.
MPO1.
Yeah,
I've got the MPO1 Battle Damage still mint and sealed box, so I've never even gotten it out.
that's the only one I have, and like I was telling Dakota last week, got him and my Red Alert, almost in front of each other. It looks like an adult standing next to a little toddler.
Yeah.
The size comparing it's so off, but
Oh,
Still a
well.
good figure though.
Oh yeah.
That's why I haven't sold mine. I see that sometimes they go for like somewhere between $150 to $200, and if they're mint and sealed box, which mine is, and all the corners look nice on it and everything like that, but still like I'm just gonna hang on to it.
I'm glad I got my Takara MP10 when I did, because man, is he going for some money now.
Yeah, and I've got my repro label sheet on him as well. But anyways, for me to answer this, and I think that on my old channel, I answered this question kind of. I kind of told people how I got into collecting, but people that are on this channel, I don't think they ever saw that. But basically, about 14 months ago, I don't know what happened to make me want to search for this, but something happened, and I was like, you know what? I want to see what a G1 Astro Train transforms, and all the different transformations and stuff like that. And instead of going to YouTube and just reliving through someone else messing with it and kind of living through their eyes, I wanted to transform it myself. So I went to eBay and I said, how much are these like G1s going for? Because I was curious, because I always had them, and I didn't know it would be such an expensive hobby, and I wasn't planning on collecting it all either. I was like, I just want to buy one, really good condition, and I'll transform it a few times. I'll set it at my desk maybe, for a couple of weeks, and then I'll just put it back on eBay, resell it. Well, I enjoyed that so much, and I said, you know what? Another trouble changer that I never had when I was a kid was Blitzwing. So before I even sold the Astro Train back, I ended up buying Blitzwing, and I had fun with that, and I just ended up, I was like, oh, there's another figure that I did have, and I want to get him again, and then it just started bam, 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 bam. And this was 14 months ago, and that's whenever I picked up my very first figure as far as collecting goes. It was G1 Astro Train. He's the one that was responsible for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Oh, dude, tell me about it.
And I was gonna also say, as far as also to answer, I guess, the other thing of why did I pick certain items to start collecting before others? One, I'm a G1 enthusiast. That is, to me, that is the Transformer brand, G1. Beast Wars, nothing wrong with that. It's good in its own regard. The Transformer Prime, animated, Energon, what all those different things. But you're not gonna have any of that if G1 was not successful, and you're not gonna beat the original.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's so hard. Even in movies, the original is always the best. Now, we do have some couple of movies out there that, Terminator 2 probably better than Terminator 1. Still, Terminator 1 is good. And then, you got Back to the Future 2, which is good too, but I still think 1 is better. No, the third one sucked, but most of the time, the first thing is always the best. Now, there were some things when I was a kid growing up that this kid on my block named Dustin, I had Metroplex and he had Trypticon. He'd never let me play with it. I never got to touch the damn thing, and I was so pissed. And when I saw that I found a Trypticon for pretty cheap and 100% complete, man, I jumped on that. And then I was like, man, this is awesome. And I wanted to start getting, the combiners. So that was really the first thing I did is I tackled a lot of the bigger figures first, like Omega Supreme, Trypticon, Scorponok, Metroplex, and then pretty much all the combiners except for Defensor. And then I still need the Japanese versions. But that's pretty much the way I went.
Which is probably the smartest thing you could have done.
Get all the expensive crap out of the way.
Yeah.
Something I did want to kind of add in a couple minutes ago was, in terms of how iconic G1 is, like Beast Wars, that's a continuation of that, and they're set in the same universe, in the same story, which I think is really cool that they Beast Wars started out not wanting to do that, not really wanting to go that route, but then they ended up going that route, and I thought it was awesome. And that's one of the, to me, that that's what kind of piqued my interest as a child for G1, and why I do have so much respect for it, and why I'm sitting here with like freaking $16,000 later, mostly G1 looking, basically the classics line essentially, and BotCon and all that other stuff, but whatever.
All right. Anyone have anything else to add? If not, then after I put this video onto the other one, if I can, man, this is gonna be the longest podcast.
Yeah.
I thought the last one was the longest. This one was really long, but we had really great questions, so I wanted to give those some really good answers and just a ton of news. And I would really hope that we don't get any Transformer 4 news in the future, because I just don't even like talking about it.
It's so irritating, man. Like this is the first week we've covered Transformers 4 news, isn't it?
Yep.
It's like none of us had a single nice thing to say other than Optimus looks decent.
Yeah, and I don't even want Optimus to be in there. I want him to die.
Yeah.
I'm probably the only Transformer fan that is like, I want Optimus Prime to die. And it's not because I think Rodimus Prime is a good leader. It's just because I want to see Rodimus Prime and Galvatron face off.
The right.
I basically want the '86 animated movie and fix the things that you didn't do right. Like you only had 4 Dinobots, things like that. Fix that stuff and make a real live version of the '86 animated movie. Another thing that my friend said before we get off here, because I was telling him about G1, I said Optimus Prime to me is the flat-nosed Shrock, and I was referring back to all the '80s and even late '70s vehicles, because a lot of them were Diaclones, so that's when those original molds were made. Mm-hmm. He said, what would really be cool is not Michael Bay, but somebody took those '80s style vehicles and made it a real live action Transformer movie.
That's what we wanted to begin with.
I know, that's what I wanted. and when they transform, they look all like the original G1 anime style. Like they weren't exactly boxy, but I mean they were boxy, but they still had basically articulation.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Or release a crap load of Masterpiece figures and just someone do one of those
stop motions.
Give me a stop motion '86 animated movie.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much all I had. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I knew it was a long podcast, but a lot to cover. So thanks a lot, and we will talk to you later.